Some malls in East London have shut their doors after a group of looters tried to plunder shops, but the situation was quickly contained. Basakwaza Mtata.
So we know that the violence and the looting will have significant economic consequences for our country, and to help us unpack the impact of the unrest on our economy, we're joined by Martin Kingston from Business for South Africa. Martin, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, a week ago, just more than a week ago, you were pleading with government for the extension of the TERS relief. How bad is the crisis that our country is facing now?
I think that, Melanie, it is almost impossible to understand the size and scale of the challenge that we now face as a consequence of the violence I would characterize as anarchy that has broken out, not just in KZN, but around the country. It's put the vaccination rollout program at risk, certainly in KZN and parts of Gauteng. It has the possibility or the potential of creating mass super spreading events, as we know, with attendant ramifications for the healthcare system, which was already taking enormous strain in the context of the third wave. And then specifically in the context of the economy, it's going to take, I don't just think months, but potentially years to be able to put the economy back on the trajectory that we were seeking to place it, as a consequence of what we had already seen, which was an economy in recession, multiple downgrades by the rating agencies, a massive contraction as a consequence of the pandemic and hemorrhaging of jobs. This is going to create an enormous magnification of all of those challenges at a time when we can least afford it.
We were, before this, starting to see some of those green shoots. How now do we attract investment when we can't assure businesses that their assets will be protected?
Well, it's impossible, Melanie, to be able to give any assurances to business until, as you say, we can be satisfied that people respect and understand the rule of law, that such acts not only are not possible, but condemned universally. I was glad to see that in the Western Cape, all of the political parties have condemned what is going on. We need to see that happening at a national level. But in truth, to be able to provide the confidence, as you say, that not only lives and livelihoods, but assets as well, are protected and secure, is now going to be a very major risk in everybody's minds, not just international investors, but local investors as well. We're now running the risk of disrupting the food supply chain, of impairing the healthcare services in the areas where they are most desperately needed. So the conversations that we were having about the need for UIF TERS to provide assistance, support and relief in the context of the adjusted level 4 restrictions is actually a drop in the ocean compared to the support and assistance that we're now going to require as a consequence of what we're seeing playing itself out on our television screens.
And Martin, that was something the President talked about last night, wasn't it? The concerns around food security and around medicine security. What are the conversations that are happening behind the scenes to make sure that we don't get to a crisis point when it comes to that?
Well, as the President said, we engaged as Business Unity South Africa with a cluster of ministers led by Minister Gubani, and we made it clear that there were many areas of the economy that we felt needed to be safeguarded. Top of that, of course, was the food supply chain, the health services, as well as essential services, infrastructure such as power, telecommunications and water, the need to be able to safeguard the transportation of those goods. In fact, many companies have grounded their fleets on the ground that they are not secure and safe at the moment. We've, as you know, closed the vaccination process in many parts of KZN because we can't provide the necessary reassurance either to those who are to be vaccinated or those who are administering the vaccine that they will be safe and secure. So we've been meeting again today. We're meeting 24/7, not just as business, but to provide the requisite support that we can and information to government. In the final analysis, the forces of law and order are controlled and overseen by government, not by the private sector. We need to rely upon government and work with them closely to ensure that they can provide the protection that is required, let alone bringing the perpetrators of what we're seeing here to book. That's going to take some time, and actually we don't have, Melanie, the benefit of time right now. We have the need to act immediately to secure those supply chains as a matter of an absolute priority if we're going to be able to provide the requisite reassurance to people that they're going to be able to access food and medical supplies.
Martin Kingston from Business for South Africa, thank you so much for your time. Of course, our economy suffering yet another body blow. We've had load shedding, we suffered under the pandemic, and Martin was talking there about the TERS relief, and